In these days of worldwide power-hungry leadership, when people in government, big business, and even religious institutions seek position for personal attainment and wealth rather than for the betterment of their communities, I want to read a parable that came to me in a dream almost 15 years ago. It reminds us of the most important quality needed for true leadership, especially in these days. Once upon a time, villagers gathered to select a new shaman. A young woman representing a new generation had been selected to lead them into spiritual discoveries of benefit to all the people. It was an important day, and extensive preparations had been made. The young woman had undergone a thorough training. She had read and studied. She had learned myths from the old ones and could repeat them without a single mistake. She could weave together entertaining stories that made the whole village think more clearly about the important things of life, the things of the spirit. All that was needed now was the final ceremony that would bring together all she had learned. She was ready. Or was she? The elders summoned her to the village square, placed a blindfold over her eyes, and told her to stand before an ancient rock that bore an enigmatic message. Her blindfold was removed, and the young woman was told that she had only a short period of time to read the inscription. "Tell us its secrets," said the elders, "and you will be worthy to lead us into new discoveries of the Spirit." Secure in all of her training, she began. The villagers waited. The silence stretched on and on. And in the end, she couldn't do it. With anger, frustration, she finally announced that the message carved in stone, inspired by an ancient wisdom, could not be translated. It was indecipherable. The villagers were despondent. But it was even worse for the young woman. She retreated into herself, wondering why she had come up short. Why had she failed? Her training had been extensive. She had studied, learned about everything she could. Her active and fertile mind had probed and probed, seeking out answers to spiritual questions pondered by all the elders. She thought she had learned all they had to offer. Now, she was all alone. The days of frustration stretched into weeks. A year passed. Finally, at the low point of her despair, she wandered alone into the wilderness. There, at the boundary of the country she called home, she found a great tree. Beneath the tree rested a beautiful clay jar, painted and decorated with designs and symbols so mysterious and beckoning that she just knew it must contain something of great value. Perhaps this was the end of her journey. Perhaps here she would find the missing piece of her spiritual puzzle, the piece that would bring together into one all the mysteries of the elders, the ancient ones. After offering a wish and a prayer, she lifted the jar and gazed inside. It was empty. There was absolutely nothing of value there at all. The jar that had looked so mysterious, that had promised so much of value on the outside, contained nothing of value on the inside. Shocked, she lost control of her emotions, her reactions, and her very grasp. The jar fell from her hands and shattered into 1,000 pieces. It was broken, beyond repair. Into her mind flashed an image of the ancient rock standing in the village square, and in that instant, she understood the meaning of the mystical inscription she had been told. told to translate. Her value to the community lay not in her knowledge or her preparation. It didn't really matter whether she could tell entertaining stories or weave philosophical truths into a colorful verbal tapestry. Her value lay not in her ability to explain signs and symbols that perhaps hinted of mystery and insight. No, her value lay in her brokenness. The beautiful clay jar, no matter how brightly decorated, no matter how large, was not sufficient to hold within itself the wealth of the elders. Their spiritual wisdom, gathered over millennia, could not be contained within the confines of a single vessel. Any vessel made for that purpose would have to have been fashioned with great pride, and pride is a dam across the mighty flow of the Spirit River. The only way the clay jar, the only way the young woman could release the power of the elders was to be broken. Only then could the river flow freely. She had thought her talent sufficient, her training thorough. Now she realized it wasn't, not for her, not for anyone. And with that knowledge, she was content and could finally begin her work.